All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Roll and Move Live. I hope everybody's doing well and recovered from the loss of 1 hour sleep this weekend. Joining me today, as always, is our good friend, the retro board gamer. You know him from Board Game Blender. Please welcome Asdruval.
Hello out there, folks, and I'm doing great, Kirk. Thanks for having me on, as always.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. And joining us, a very special guest we have today. We have her you know her from her Dice Tower contributions. You know her from the Die 4 games. And she's had a very busy schedule. She's fitting us in. We're so glad she's here. Please welcome the Boardgaming Pinup girl, Mandi Hutchinson.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you very much for being here. And I know, like I said, I know you've been busy this weekend, so we'll get right into things. Mandi, when we have a new guest on, we usually like to take a little time, get to know them, let the audience get to know you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and just kind of your background in board gaming, how you got into the hobby, and how that kind of parlayed into you becoming a content creator.
Oh, so my goodness. It's funny. Every time I do this, first thing people ask me, they're like, really? You're into board gaming? That doesn't look like something you would do. I'm like, well, what should I look like? So it started actually when I was a kid. So my family's really oriented on being together, so dinners were always together. My mom would bring home a new game and she'd learn it and teach us, and we'd do that as a family, so it was really good. And at the time it was the Monopolies and it was the, Trouble, Frustration, Snakes and Ladders, and, all the games that people kind of give a hard time. But you know what? They did bring the family together, or apart if it was Monopoly, but, still fun. And then my brothers were actually really big into Risk. And my grandfather was really big into chess and checkers and things like that. So strategic kind of gaming. I wasn't particularly good at it, but it was nice for us to spend time together. So that was something that we did. So from there, I actually got away from it for a while. I was working full time, going to university full time. I was doing makeup. I have a makeup business, so it just got away from me. And it's only till like a couple years ago I was like, oh my gosh, I missed this. Let's get back into this, So I started joining up some clubs, meeting up some people, and here we are. And then I met a couple people, Tracy Stefan in my game group, and I said, hey guys, you know what? This is super fun. Let's just do stuff with it. And that's how we started making content on YouTube, and it's just snowballed into what it is now.
Awesome.
Are those the two other folks with you that are on the Board Game with Colleagues on Board Game Breakfast?
Yeah, so initially they were not the initial host. I actually was working with somebody else, but he had too much going on with his. He had kids and he just couldn't commit the time. So yeah, those are the other two. Tracy and Stefan is now who I work with.
Awesome. Now you guys talk a lot about, you do your segment for board games with colleagues and lunchtime board gaming. Do you guys actually get to do a lot of that?
So I would say more so me and my job. So I work for the federal government. So I work for Department of National Defense. And I'm a big nerd on my floor. So started off with the IT guys. I always start with the IT guys and moved it over from there. But I legitimately play games at lunch probably 3 to 4 times a week.
Awesome.
Would you say
that's how we try to show that?
Right. Do you bring different people in, try to find people that say, hey, you want to play this quick game?
All the times. I'm so pushy. No, I work with military and I work with civilians. So it's a bit harder with the military guys to get them in because I work with high level military. So they're always busy, but I'll always ask and they're always intrigued, right? But yeah, I have a friend that regularly comes by and he also works for the government, and just people in the office, they're new to gaming. And so I'll kind of be like, hey guys, you want to check out this really cute game? So something that could be played in a lunch hour. And I love the fact that they're excited about it. So yeah, I just grab whoever wants to play.
What kind of reaction do you get from the folks who maybe aren't joining in, who are just watching on the peripheral? Because I mean, you have sounds like a very important job, and you're doing very important things. And do you kind of get sideways glances and this may be a little too fun for what we're doing here? You get any reaction like that?
Never. Honest to goodness, even the one of the high level people that I work with, his son is into gaming, and I didn't know that until I started kind of showing games at work, and I started chatting with him, and he said, "Oh wow, my son's really into that, and son's really shy." So I said, "You know what? Here's my card if he ever wants to play a game with us or after work hours." So they're more than happy to at least listen or see what we're up to. They may not join because of the time, but honest to goodness, it's surprising the amount of people in that high level position you would never expect to be interested in gaming. So
Wow.
absolutely they're into it.
That's cool. Oh, Asdruval, I'm sorry. I thought you look like
Yeah,
you're
I
about
was
to
waiting
ask
for
a
No,
question.
I wasn't going to say anything. There was an awkward silence there for
No,
a second.
I heard papers rustling. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
some importance coming up. Mandy, now I know, like I said, you've been busy this weekend, and I'm really jealous. I've been watching on Twitter all weekend that you were at Breakout Con,
yeah.
and I'm really trying to talk my wife into going next year. But why don't you tell us a little bit what was that all about? What was going on there? Some of the folks you're able to hang out and play games with.
So unfortunately, I wasn't there the whole weekend. So we were only able to make it on the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down with Tracy and Stefan. We were invited also to a dinner with Helena Capel and her husband Josh. I think they had organized a nice dinner, but we can get to that. But there's a lot of people online that were there. So there's Nicole, I Heart Museums. I don't know if you know her tagline on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And she also does, some writing and reviews. We also ran into Mike Primo, which was nice, Canadian. So it was really nice to be around the Canadian reviewers and people who contribute. And he's with CBC. A lot of people doing some showing off some prototypes in games they were working on. Like Eric Lang was there. And so a few of the designers were there kind of showing off some of the things that they were coming up. I was so upset that I missed Dinosaur Island. I don't know if you guys have seen this Kickstarter. I backed it, and I'm like, okay, if this comes up, I want to play it. As I'm leaving, someone's like, "Oh, do you want to play Dinosaur Island?" I'm like, "No." I was waiting all weekend to play this. But just opportunities like that were coming up, and then we had this great dinner with everyone, and where we got to talk, just relax and talk. But it was just a nice, relaxed gaming environment, so it was great. I enjoyed myself.
Cool. Now, is that the focus of the convention? Is like up and coming new games, new designers, things like that?
I think it was just like an open forum type thing. Like you were there to play games, but it just so happened if you were media, you could cover the event, or if you had a prototype, great, bring it by and people would play it. And it was nice because you had that interconnectivity between everyone because we all talk on Twitter and things like that. So we all kind of knew each other going in, and then you saw a few people who were just local or coming in for the event. So it was a nice mix.
Cool.
Yeah.
What would you say? It being being in Canada and a Canadian event, are there a lot of differences in Canada between that and what you see in the States as far as the hobby and its growth and how things, the direction it's moving in, where it's come from? Are there a lot of differences, or you say it's pretty much the same?
In Ottawa, even though we're the nation's capital, you would think that we're on the pulse of everything. Not exactly. And it's funny, we were just talking about this on the car ride back. I think in Ottawa, we don't maybe have as many as some of the big designers that people know, So I find that are more situated in Toronto. So they may be a bit more on the pulse of things. I find in Ottawa, we're a bit slow moving on what's going on with gaming. I find you do have to travel. I don't necessarily know if it's as big as it is in the US. And I'm not saying maybe I'm just not seeing it because of where I live, but when I go to Toronto, I see that community, or if I talk to people from the States, I'm seeing those types of communities, and the games that are coming out just seems fast and furious, more so than in Canada. It's a bit more at a relaxed pace. And I just don't know if I'm just not seeing it or if it's just not happening,
Cool.
So.
Yeah, no, I mean, Toronto has snakes and lattes, and it seems there is a lot going on there.
Right.
And for ignorant Americans, we see we think it's all one big place. We don't realize it's like separate locations and entities.
I know, and people think I'm American. Even in Ottawa, I was at one of the local comic stores, and the guy's does a double take. He's like, "You're on the Dice Tower." I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "What's up?" And try to chat with him. He goes, "Wait, aren't you American?" Really?
Well, everybody in the Dice Tower from Florida, right?
Right, exactly. I had that instance when I first was on the Dice Tower, and I went to a game store in another town, and they go, "Wait, are you on the Dice Tower? I thought you lived in Florida."
Yeah. Oh, Oh goodness.
That's hilarious. So, I'll ask both of you. This is something else we cover on every episode. What games have you been playing? At the convention or otherwise? What are some games that that really caught your attention lately, and that you've really been focused on?
I need a moment, so someone else go first.
Asdruval, you go ahead and answer.
Well, what I'm waiting for is I just backed on Kickstarter the Champions of Midgard expansion. I backed both of them. So I'm really excited to get that, because I always thought that how popular that game was that they would have came out with one sooner.
Right.
But I'm really excited for that. And apparently they said that they're 99% sure that they can get it out to backers by June. So I'm really, it's pretty soon. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is that, because,
Awesome.
I like the game. It's kind of getting a little bit stale for me. So hopefully with these 2 new expansions, it can get re-energized for me again.
Cool.
Nice.
I'd say for me, it's been a pretty good weekend by my standards. I got to play a lot of games. Got to do my regular Friday group on Friday. So yesterday I went to a meetup, and all weekend I've just had a chance to play a lot with my family. One game, and I meant to bring it down, and I don't think I did. King Domino is one little game from Blue Orange Games that I got to finally came in this week. Played it at a meetup a couple months ago, I think back in December, and was really excited about that. I found out it was only a limited release for, I don't know if it was Gen Con or one of the cons last year. They had a limited release, so it wasn't really widely available yet. It wasn't on sale. Came out a couple weeks ago, grabbed it right away, played it with the family. And the reason why I wanted to show it was because just almost like a public service announcement. I opened the game up. Everybody's really excited to play. I'm like, well, I got to read the rules, review the rules, punch the game out. I open it up. There's 48 tiles in this game, real nice thick cardboard tiles, all already punched, all already organized, and it was so nice. So just a note for any designers watching, any publishers watching. That's such a nice little feature. When you open a game and you see you don't have, 6 sheets of cardboard to punch out.
Yeah.
Mwah, beautiful. So added nice little cherry on top of that really fun game. So that's something I'm really excited about.
That's a good game, actually. I play that a lot at lunchtime. So,
yeah, that's a great lunchtime game. Yeah.
I had a nice surprise on the weekend. I mean, I got through a few games, like Mansions of Madness is, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with that game. I mean, we got destroyed, but I love it, and it was really good. But the highlight for me was Manhattan Project. The energy product. I just bought it. It had been sitting on my shelf for a while. I hadn't gotten around to it. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Have you guys played this one?
Is that the new version?
That's the newest one, yeah.
Yes, it's the newest one.
No.
Oh, so good. I don't own any of the others, but I found out that Josh Capel actually worked on this game. And I was like, that is impressive. The rule book, okay. I used to be a teacher. I'm a teacher by trade. So the first thing I look at is how the rulebook is organized, and usually my mind is a bit strange. It's all over the place. I ask a lot of questions when I'm learning a game. This one, it was like it read my mind. I was like, what? Oh, wait, it's the next line. Oh, I turned the page. Oh, that's the next thing I was going to ask. Like, it was really well laid out. The art on the game was really nice. Even though there was a lot going on, I understood. I was explaining it to the table. Everybody caught on really, really quickly, and it just made sense. It was awesome. Really enjoyed it.
Cool. I'll check that one out. Asdruval, you play that one yet?
I have not. That's on. I do own it, but it's still in shrink along with like 8 other games.
That was me.
I haven't even opened it yet.
I'm looking, as you said that, I'm looking at my dresser right now, and I've got The Colonist still in plastic and Feast for Odin sitting there staring at me. So I feel you.
Well, yesterday I did whip out Original Pandemic, and just for grins and giggles, I put in 12 Epidemic cards, and we just shuffled them all up and just went for it. Yeah, it was pretty difficult. Obviously, we didn't win. I mean, I played 3 times and just didn't win.
How far did you get?
It was interesting.
How far did you get?
We only got to after about the 5th pandemic, the epidemic card that came up. There was too many outbreaks. We always lost on the outbreaks, always. Yeah. So I guess there's a reason why they scaled it down to what they did. But yeah, it was quite fun. I called it super pandemic.
What's the highest difficulty level in the rule book? Like, what's the most they tell you to put in?
I think it's only 6.
Oh, wow.
So we put double the epidemic cards.
Oh,
Going for it.
Yeah,
you
we
were
had
looking for death.
exactly. A friend of mine had another set, and I said, "Why don't you bring that over, and we'll just combine them?" You know.
Can I make a confession here? I've never played Pandemic.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Wow.
Everyone does
Not even.
that.
Not even Legacy.
Legacy is the
Whoa.
one that I would play, but all my friends have already played it with their groups. It was just, I had a bad experience. I won't get into it. And I was kind of like, oh, Pandemic. Oh. So I made a promise to myself this year that I would play at least one of the Pandemic games.
Well, there's a lot to choose from now.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Well, maybe I'll do it when the new Legacy one comes out there. So
yeah,
I'll try that one.
Awesome. Well, Mandi, one of the things we wanted to talk about, have a conversation on, is something that you've kind of you become a voice for, especially since you did your talkback episode with Suzanne on Dice Tower, and just that topic of inclusion and diversity in gaming, and we just wanted to get your take on it, kind of get an idea, an overview of where you think we're at on that, and maybe use this weekend as a benchmark and what you saw there, and just how you think we're doing in that area.
It's funny you brought this up. I was actually speaking to a couple people about it at the convention, about this exact topic, because I had done an interview with a couple of people a few months ago with the same thing. And it made me happy to see the diversity of people at Breakout. So I thought that was really, really great. I mean, it's always nice to see that. How do I think it's going? I think it's progressing. I mean, change doesn't happen overnight. We know that, right? So, and the problem is, I think that sometimes we're so used to something that a lot of people may not think that it's an issue. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they may not even, they think, oh, I never really noticed. But I guess it's at that point where people are kind of noticing, and, we're hoping it gets a bit better. I mean, it's funny. I'm so used to, I think, and I'm going to kind of go off a bit here. In life in general, I've always been that girl. So, for example, no, and I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I mean, I'll explain. So I'm Catholic, and I've gone to Catholic schools my entire life. And usually going to a school, and this is, back in the 80s and early 90s, usually I was the only Black girl. Or I go to school with my brothers and we were the only Black kids, or whatever it may be. So for me, I think I'm almost at the point where I'm used to being in environments where there are not always a lot of people like me. And it's only now that I'm going to bigger events and things like that I'm noticing, I'm like, oh wow, like it's really noticeable now, and even living in Ottawa, going to a lot of the game groups, and I think I had mentioned this before, wonderful people. I've never had an issue, but usually it's me and maybe one other person. So, I mean, there are people who are very vocal about where this is going. Suzanne is one of them, and I would say Suzanne does far more for the campaigning in this than I do. So, I mean, I applaud her because she takes a lot of heat for a lot of stuff, and she does a good job. So I definitely think that needs to be put out there. I'm just going to end it with, it's getting better slowly. I think some people just need to let go. Like, no one's out to attack you. No one's out to say you did something wrong. Just be yourself, be inclusive. It's not hard. I think people are making it a lot harder than it really needs to be, to be quite honest with you. I go to a group, I insert myself, no problem. You know what I mean? And maybe that's just because I want everyone to feel welcome. It doesn't take a lot to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I going with what you're saying.
So
the idea that this, the fact that this is a problem is it's just so strange to me, because I think as gamers specifically, but in general, any kind of geek or nerd, for a better way of putting it, we're different. You know what I mean? And we have people who like us and who like being around us and who love us. We have friends and family, but there's not a lot of people who get us, I feel like.
Absolutely.
And and when and I don't say this to be like, oh, I'm standing up for whoever.
Yeah.
It's almost a selfish thing. Like, if I find somebody who gets me, which is very rare, how can I reject that person for any other reason?
Right.
If someone gets my lame joke or my movie quote or something like that, we're right there no matter what. Exactly. And the idea of, I don't know, pushing somebody away because that is kind of baffling to me.
Yes. I can't believe it's still an issue. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I see kids, and I always point this out to people. Have you ever watched, or maybe because I used to be a teacher, if you've ever watched children at their like purest moment, they don't notice things like that. And I'm not saying not notice as in ignoring. They legitimately do not see, that I'm brown and they're not, or they think you are the same. And I don't understand. I'm not saying people should ignore differences. That's not what I'm saying at all. But maybe understand it and just, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
I think that's the generation that's like, it's going to really get better for. Because I think we're like, our generation's kind of in a transition, and I think we want to see that change. But I think there's almost a flip side to it where we're so hyper aware of our differences that almost creates a barrier. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think like you're saying with like, I say the same thing like with my kids, where they don't even think about it one way or the other.
Absolutely. I remember when I was a kid, I legitimately never noticed the difference between people. It was only one day when someone kind of made me aware that you are different. And it was like, oh, it like actually hurt my heart because I never really, my parents never, they never harped on you're different than this person. Not at all. So it really was like, oh, wow. Okay. A bit of a shock to me, So.
Yeah, I grew up primarily in a Hispanic community for pretty much my whole life. And when I moved to Oregon, where I currently live, and saw, everybody else, where I was just sheltered in this community that I grew up in, it's like it was a culture shock to me. It's like, okay, well, there are people that look different than I do. I need to change the way that I view those. I talk or say things to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people don't always. I think I'm used to adapting to my environment. And it's funny that you're saying that now coming into that environment was like, oh my gosh, this is so different. But you've learned to kind of work with your environment, right? Exactly.
I think now I go out of my way when I go to a coffee place where they have a weekly gaming event. And I think I go out of my way to where I see somebody that doesn't really quite, are interested. I see that they're interested, but they're too shy to come up. That maybe there's scary people. I don't know what it is, but I try to put myself out there to invite them in and, explain what's going on. I think that's an important thing that a lot of people should be doing.
Yeah, I do the same thing. The game group, I know there's a guy that runs it, but he's a little more quiet. I'm like, listen, my hair color changes on a regular basis. I am not afraid to be, hey, how's it going? Because I know what it feels like to be feeling like you're outcast or different. So I always run over, hey, do you want to join a game? If I'm in something, you guys finish, I'll play with this person. I always want to include people. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So I would actually rather people remember me for my fun hair color and my really fun glasses than anything, which I think is pretty effective. But I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Also, one of your earlier comments when you let people know that you play board games is like, what? You really?
Yeah.
It's not anymore. I think that stigma has been broken, that it's some overweight gentleman living in his parents' basement that they only play board games or. I think we've broken out of that stigma now that, pretty much anybody, any walk of life, regardless of economic background or education background or what you do for a living, that's all been broken already.
Exactly. No, exactly. It's always a surprise though. I got to tell you, every time I go, and it's usually the IT guys that I hang out with, and they're like, it's like they have to like quiz me. They're like, okay, we have a gaming question for you. I'm like, what? Do I need to answer this to get into the club? Like, what's going on here? I've proved it.
Asdruval, to what you're saying, do you think there's still, and I don't know if there ever was, but is there any, Asdruval, you can answer, maybe for your background, where you coming from, that Hispanic community, or Mandi, and among women or maybe the African American community, is there like a stigma? Do people look at you and say, "Oh, that's a hobby for white guys. That's for, like Asdruval said, the fat white guy living in his basement. That's not for you. Why are you involved in that?" Do you ever get any kind of pushback like that?
Along with Manny, people can't believe that, I play board game. I mean, I didn't always, well, I've always worn glasses, but just in the last couple of years, but I wore contacts, my entire life. I skateboarded my entire life, but there was board gaming for me was always there. And when people discovered that I played board games, they're all, oh, that's for kids, or that's for, the guy living in his parents' basement. I think that I surprise a lot of people because I play these games, and with my kids, I have a 21-year-old daughter that I used to play games with when she was a teenager. Now she thinks she's too old for it. But now I got a whole group of other kids coming up here that I'm starting to teach into board games, and they're my son's into video games, and I'm trying to break them of that habit. But it's
why?
He loves it. But yeah, I still get some weird looks now and then, and some snickers and some jeers and some but I can roll with the punches.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's more, I actually don't even think it's a race thing at all. My if anything, I get it from some of my other family. Like, I'm of mixed background, so I have Portuguese in my family, all sorts of stuff. So the old school family gets a little funny about it, but I find it's not really related more to race for me. It's more I guess what I do. I used to be really involved in doing makeup. So I used to hang out as well with another group of people, and I get it more from that kind of group. Do you know what I mean? Sure. Like, really? Like, that's so nerdy. Like, why would you want to do that? Versus a race thing, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's more that type of thing.
That goes back where I said, like, I think, like, nerd connections run deep. If you're into that, like, if you, like I said, I think that crosses everything because, it's so easy. I mean, like I said, I have family members who I love and I know love me and we adore each other, but I mean, when they see me doing this, it's what is that? What are you doing? You're too old for that. It's stupid. So I mean, I think there is that deeper connection. At least there should be among this community that transcends all that.
But even too, sometimes within the geek community, there are even some kind of groups that are, they stick to themselves, or
absolutely. Yeah.
So you do have that as well, and I mean, you're not going to get away from it, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think too, like as Asdruval was saying a minute ago, I think I always said that gaming is a social hobby that a lot of times attracts some antisocial people. And I was at the group, the get together I was at yesterday that I mentioned. I just noticed it's so hard to get people to even look up. Yeah. When they're doing their thing and just look up and talk to you and engage. And I think that's just another barrier that just trying to break the social discomfort that a lot of people have. And for better or for worse, a lot of those people are attracted to our hobby. And I mean, they're great. I'm sure they're great people, but it's really hard to communicate with them. I think a lot of time that comes off as rejection or pushback, or I don't want to be around you, I don't play with you. But they might not know how to do it.
Yeah, and I've seen that happen actually before in groups. So I try to make sure, like, I do a lot of work with mental health awareness. I myself suffer from ADHD and I have a little bit of anxiety. So sometimes I can really point out, like, oh yeah, that person definitely has, because I have, so I can see it like in a minute. I don't know if that's good or bad, but but if I see that somebody is kind of working through something, I will purposely go out of my way, and even if it's just a few words with them, or even if we're playing a game, I'll throw a little joke out there, hey, come sit with me. Or sometimes people will see me flitting around my circle. I'll have my little camera phone, and do you mind if I get a picture of the game? You don't need to be in it. Tell me what you're playing, to kind of just engage them, even if it's a little bit. And I've had a couple people who were very quiet coming in, and now every time they come in, Mandi, can I play with you? Absolutely, so I get it, and I hear exactly what you're saying. And when I see that, I don't know, maybe it's the teacher in me. It makes me want to, help them. Maybe not help them out of it, but just make them feel more comfortable.
No, and I think we need more people doing that and making that effort, especially if you have that kind of personality. Because again, a lot of people don't. So if you're able to do that and reach out, I think that's super important. No matter who the person is, no matter what they look like,
Right.
to really reach out and bring them in and make them feel welcome. And it's okay to talk. We're all real people. We're not just we're not somebody over a keyboard or on a screen. We're real people. You can interact with.
Exactly.
Right. But on the other side of that, I was thinking about something just a second ago. At the cafe that I go to play board games, this one group of people, just they're always every week just same group of people playing this by themselves.
Yeah.
And then I see them at a convention, and it's the same group playing by themselves. It's like they don't branch off to meet other people.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a bad thing, but that's, to me, I want to try to play with as many different people as I possibly to meet new people is what I like to do.
So I often wonder, is that like a comfort thing? Maybe they're just comfortable as a group, and then I often wonder, are they even aware? Sometimes people are just not aware that they're blocking people out.
Yeah, I think that's a lot to do with it. The meetup I was at yesterday, again, you go in and I mean it's about a 10-hour day that they're there, and you go in any certain time. There's one table with one group of guys, and they're playing the same game. Right. And I think it's more because, and again, it's personal preference. For some people, it is more about the gaming. It's more about the game itself, and that's fine. And I think that's what it is for them. And I also think, like you're saying, Asdruval, it's great to get to new people, but sometimes it's hard because people do lock in, and I do this to myself. It's when you walk in and you're standing there and people are kind of looking at you. You want to get out of that target area as soon as possible. So you see an open table and you slide right down, and you got a spot. And sometimes I'll stay there just because maybe I'm not comfortable getting up and wandering around. It's like, okay, I'm sitting here. I got people playing games, and I might sit at a table all day, and people come and go to that table, and that's okay. Right. But sometimes I don't put that effort forth because, like you said, Mandi, it's just more comfortable to know, what if I walk up from here? This is my own little bit of social anxiety. What if I walk up and I don't find anything else to play? What if I'd like to? Those people over there look like they're having fun, but I might not be able to get on that. I got something going here, so I'll stay. So a lot of weird things going on in my mind when I'm there. I'm sure a lot of people go through that too.
Yeah. And I have the same, like, people think I'm an extrovert. I am actually not. I know, it's hard to believe. Years of teaching. But I literally have to kind of like psych myself up a little bit and go, okay, gotta go and do it, So and then when I'm home, then you can be quiet and recharge and read and do whatever you need to do. But when you're out, do it. You gotta do it. Get it done.
Absolutely. Yeah, but and you already gave some, Mandi, but I'll ask you, and Ezra, I'll ask you as well. What are some other things that you think people can do, either to come out of their shell a little bit and let more people in, or to be more welcoming to other people in a group or in a public setting like that?
You could always get them to color their hair something really fun like this. I'm totally kidding. No, I think honestly, it really just comes for me. I'm always bringing new games, and maybe because as a reviewer, I'm always getting new games. I'm like, hey, I need an opinion. Come play this, and I want to get your opinion on this game.
Sure.
And then I don't leave it there. I follow up. I said, here's my email. If you want to give me more about the game, I could use this opinion in my review. Send me an email.
Sure.
Or next time I'm there again, I'll bring a different game. Those are little things that I'll do, but it was like I was in teaching, and these are some things that I would do as a teacher with children. And I'm not saying people are children, but I mean, these are techniques that work with anybody, So just, I mean, for me, at the end of the day, always treat people how you want to be treated. And I think that's just really what I live by.
Absolutely.
Right. To honestly tell you, every time I've invited people to come and sit with me, I don't think there's been a time where they just flat out denied me. I wouldn't say that every time they play. they'd at least ask questions.
Mhm.
But it's just you, and for some people it might be hard, but you just have to, take that step forward, even if you're in your little bubble. Muster up the courage to invite somebody in, and sometimes sometimes it's hard for me sometimes, just because the way the person looks, and I got to get that out of my head that, okay, this is just a person. You can do it, kind of go, like asking a girl for her phone number. I don't know.
There you go. That's a good comparison, actually.
One thing that I try to do, I'm not good at it, but it's an effort I try to make, and it's something that seems obvious, but I think remembering people's names is a big deal. I know whenever I play with new people, I try to remember their names, and the next time I see them, like, oh, hey, Bob or whatever, and they're really excited that, not excited, like, but I could tell they're like, oh, you remember me. And if I can't remember the name, maybe I'll bring up something about the game we played, and just have a little connection like that, a little bit of like continuity, really seems to go a long way. So that's a little something I try. I could do a lot better at it, but I think it's worth the effort.
I think that's really good, actually. That's important. It means that, you cared enough to remember that person, and then you actually, by saying their name, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, wow, that, validated that. So I think that's great.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, I think that is, I really appreciate you guys having this conversation. I really appreciate you bringing your perspectives and your thoughts on it. I think it's a good conversation to have. And I really think it's important, and you guys were great, and really added a lot. Thank you very much, both of you.
Oh, thank you.
But now it is time. Asdruval, you ready?
Oh no.
I'm ready.
It is time to play Stump the Chump. All right.
I feel like this is not going to go well for me.
Asdruval is our reigning undefeated champion. No pressure, Mandi.
Oh my gosh, do I need Google?
No Google allowed. I will see your hands at all times. But no, we'll go on the honor system. Don't worry about it. But the way this works, Asdruval, our champion, I'll ask him second. I'll ask you 10 questions. You can pass on any question and come back to it later. I'll time you. The time will only matter if there's a tie. If there's a tie, whoever answered all the questions the fastest will win.
Okay.
And then once you've gone, I will ask Asdruval the same 10 questions, and whoever gets the most answers correct wins. So, Mandi, I will ask you first. Asdruval, will you please enter the official Roll and Move Reviews Tower of Silence, Cone of Silence?
No problem. Here I go.
All right. Now let me get my timer.
Okay, I need to at least get 3, so I'm not embarrassed.
That's all right. Well, and I'll tell you this. I'll give you a little hint. Last week they were complaining that I went a little too old school on the questions. So all the questions I asked today are pretty current. So hopefully you're up on current events.
Well, let's hope so.
Current pop culture events. And let me find my timer here.
Okay.
Oh shoot! Where'd my timer go? Sorry, my kids were playing with my phone and they moved all my icons around. Okay, Are you ready?
Okay, ready.
I will begin the timer after the first question.
Okay.
Okay, question number 1. What popular 90s TV series celebrated its 20th anniversary this week?
Friends?
No.
Damn it.
What superstar actor was recently rumored to be playing Ares in the upcoming Wonder Woman movie?
Oh my gosh. Is it Idris Elba?
No.
Damn it.
Jennifer Lopez is currently dating which retired baseball star?
Retired. Oh, this is bad. Oh, Spanish guy. Oh, what's his name? He was dating Cameron Diaz. Oh my gosh.
You can pass and come back if you want.
Yeah, I'll come back to it. I can't remember his name.
All right. The Good Fight is a spin-off of which TV series?
The Good Fight?
Yes. It's a spin-off of which TV series?
Oh god, I don't watch a lot of TV, Pat.
Okay. This week, a viral video featured children interrupting their father's interview for which TV network?
Sorry, can you repeat?
This week, a viral video featured children interrupting their father's interview with which TV network?
Oh, I didn't watch this. I'm gonna throw out Fox. I know it's not right.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're correct.
No, is it CNN? CNN?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I have no idea.
Who plays Cogsworth in the live-action Beauty and the Beast movie?
Cogsworth is. Oh, we're gonna have to pass.
Okay. The FX series Feud is about the rivalry between which two legendary actresses?
Pass.
Who was named the #1 overall seed in this year's NCAA basketball tournament?
Oh yeah, I definitely won't know that. Pass.
All right.
I literally don't watch television.
Oh, sorry. What is the subtitle of the new Nintendo Switch Zelda game?
Oh, I don't know. Pass.
Okay. Four of the stars of Kong Skull Island have starred in or are scheduled to star in Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Name 3 of them.
3 of the movies or 3 of the actors?
No, 3 of the actors who are in Kong Skull Island and who are also in or going to be in Marvel movies.
Oh gosh, who's in that movie? I have no idea. Samuel L. Jackson?
That's one.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably as far as we're gonna get.
All right. Okay, I'll go back. Jennifer Lopez is currently dating which retired baseball star?
Oh, yeah, I know who it is. I can't remember his
Gonna
name.
kick yourself. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
The Good Fight is a spin-off of which TV series?
Which TV series? Yeah, no idea.
All right. Who plays Cogsworth in the live-action Beauty and the Beast movie?
This is gonna drive me crazy because I just saw the interviews for this. I don't know. I don't know.
And the FX series Feud is about the rivalry between which 2 legendary actresses?
Jane Fonda? Is she one of them? No. Okay.
No, she's not.
Yeah, okay. No idea.
What is the subtitle of the Nintendo Switch Zelda game?
Yeah, I don't remember.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
see,
all right.
if you had gone old school, I probably would have done better.
See, they complained about old school last week, so I think I'm going to do something different.
I'm old school. That's okay. I figured out what
we'll see. Asdruval didn't have a very good showing last week. He won, but just barely. So
no, he'll crush me, I think, this week.
We'll see. We'll see. He's been on a little bit of a. He's been winning, but not by much. So.
Well, my viewer, if I have any of my viewers watching, I'm so embarrassed.
Okay. Asdruval, you ready?
This will be an easy win for you.
I was choking in there.
Okay. All right. Now you complained last week. You guys complained last week. I went a little too old school with the questions. So this week is all.
Come on, man.
This week is all pretty current. So hopefully you have a little better showing this week than you did last time. Okay. You ready?
Okay.
You know the rules. You could pass. Come back to it. I'll start the timer after the first question. You ready?
Okay. Ready.
Which popular 1990s TV series celebrated its 20th anniversary this week?
Popular 1990s?
Yeah.
Anniversary?
20th anniversary.
Friends?
No. What superstar actor? What superstar actor was recently rumored to be playing Ares in the upcoming Wonder Woman movie?
Superstar actor?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Ares in the upcoming Wonder Woman movie.
Correct.
I don't know. Pass.
Pass. All right. Jennifer Lopez is currently dating which retired baseball star?
A-Rod.
Correct.
Sorry, Alex Rodriguez.
I'll take either. The Good Fight is a spin-off of which TV series?
The Good Fight. I don't know. Pass.
All right. This week, a viral video featured children interrupting their father's interview with which TV network?
The BBC.
Correct. Who plays Cogsworth in the live-action Beauty and the Beast movie?
Oh my gosh! I was just watching the trailer the other day too. I pass.
Okay. The FX series Feud is about the rivalry between which two legendary actresses?
Joan Crawford and Bette Davis.
Correct. Who was named the overall #1 seed in the NCAA AA basketball tournament this year?
Sports question. I don't even watch sports. That I don't know.
What is the subtitle of the Nintendo Switch Zelda game?
That's Breath of the Wild.
Incorrect.
Breath of the Wild is incorrect?
It's incorrect. I will fact check it later, but I'm pretty sure it's incorrect. Okay, 4 of the stars of Kong Skull Island have starred or are scheduled to star in Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Name 3 of them.
Samuel Jackson is in there. Tom Hiddleston is in there. And oh my gosh.
Those are the easy ones.
Those are the easy ones?
Yeah.
Great. Come on. I'm trying to think of the trailer. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's time. Oh, you want to go back on the ones you passed?
Let's go back real quick.
What superstar actor was recently rumored to be playing Ares in the upcoming Wonder Woman movie?
Rumored. How big of a superstar is he?
Whoa! Here. Just kidding.
Okay, no.
We can have that conversation afterwards.
I don't know. I don't know.
The Good Fight is a spin-off of which TV series?
I don't know.
All right. Who plays Cogsworth in live-action Beauty and the Beast movie?
I don't know. You got me.
All right. And that's all of them. Okay. All right.
I don't
Final
feel
score.
so bad now, by the way.
1, 2, 3. Okay, you won. Congratulations, Asdruval. You are still reigning champion. You got 3 right.
Okay. Well, let's go back to Zelda. I have the game right here.
It's Breath of the Wind, right? Isn't it Breath of the Wind?
You might be right.
I feel like we need to check this.
I said
I'm gonna fact check this. Hold on 1 second. Let me go to my fact checking department here.
I think you're right.
See,
it's not wild. It's not wild. I think it's wind. You're right.
Okay.
No, you know what? It is Breath of the Wild. Oh man!
Oh.
You got officially okay. After further review, you got 4 points. Congratulations.
Okay. But I died.
thought it was wind. It must be. You know what? It's that font. It looks like wind on the font. I blame the font.
I died with the first question because I said the exact same thing.
You said Friends?
Friends, and then on top of it, when we got to the Beauty and Beast question, you said the exact same thing. I just watched the trailer the other day.
I did.
Okay, the popular '90s series is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, I should have known that.
Come on.
Okay, now we can discuss superstar actor rumored to play Ares, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's. I think they debunked it, but that was the rumor going around.
Oh, okay.
The Good Fight is a spinoff of The Good Wife.
Oh, come on.
I thought you said The Good Wife at first.
Sir Ian McKellen is playing Cogsworth.
Oh, okay.
Breath of the Wild. Okay,
Oh,
Breath
yes,
of the Wild.
the Irish actor, yes.
Yeah. And then, Tom Hiddleston, Sam Jackson. The other 2 were Brie Larson and John C. Reilly.
Okay.
Oh, he was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah, he was in Guardians. He was the one.
That's right. He played the cop.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So that's all right. So how were these questions this week, Asdruval? What'd you think?
That was a medium weight. That was good.
I think we're going to make some rule changes for next time. Mandi, we'll have to have you back to play again because I think.
I need to redeem myself.
Well, no, I think the problem is what I know, and the things I know about, and the things other people know about aren't the same things. So I think I have to let people have say on the kind of questions they get because I'm just asking I'm like, oh yeah, I heard about this. I read about that. And nobody else. It's me. It's not you guys. So, but hey, that's all right.
It was still fun, so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. And before we wrap things up, guys, is there anything? Asdruval, I'll start with you. Why don't you tell us what you got going on coming up on the? Good.
Okay, we got Board Game Blender out every other Thursday, except for this coming Thursday. Since Gamma's happening, they're pushing that out until the following Thursday after that. Restoration Games Kickstarter going live March 14th. Stop Thief. Please look for it, and please, you can still go to their website, restorationgames.com, to vote for a game you would like to see restored again.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that's it for me.
Awesome. Mandi, what do you got going on?
So much. So as you know, I'm on To Die For Games. That's our channel. We also have a weekly segment on Board Game Breakfast at the Dice Tower, our lunchtime. Everyone's going to check that out. We also do some stints on the Instagamers Network. And you'll see me all over social media, Twitter, Instagram. My goodness, I'm all over. And next week, I will be at Gamma. So hopefully I'll see some people there.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, Mandi, thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, I know how busy you are and how you've really been on the go lately, and you're going to continue to be here. So thanks for squeezing us in, taking the time.
Thanks
it was
so
a lot
much.
of fun to have you. And hopefully you come back soon and join us again and get your revenge on Asdruval.
Yes. Absolutely.
Asdruval, as always, thank you for joining me. And
No problem.
we will see you guys next time. Thanks a lot.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thanks. Bye.